Skills open the doors to opportunities. They break every economic boundary and empower societies to maximize their potential. Nothing else is that powerful. A wonderful evening, everyone. I'm Vismini Amarasinghe, your host for today, and I warmly welcome you all to Career Ace, the first day of Upskill 2022. Upskill Sri Lanka Section 2022 is the signature event of IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka collaborating with IEEE Region 10 Young Professionals. It's an excellent delivery on elevating soft skills, specifically for young engineers who seek potential in their career paths. This year, we are conducting this event under the theme of Commit, Innovate, Inspire. Day 1 of Upskill 2022 will surely keep you at the edge of your seats as a set of exceptional personalities enlighten you with the essential skills you need to excel in your professional life. First of all, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome Mr. Sharil Nilanka, the chairperson of Upskill Sri Lanka 2022, to welcome our speaker. Over to you, Sharil.
Good evening, everyone. It's my honor to welcome you all to Upskill Sri Lanka Section 2022, the signature event of the IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka, in collaboration with IEEE Region 10 Young Professionals. So, on behalf of the Upskill 2022, I would like to welcome Chair of IEEE Sri Lanka Section, Professor Pradeep Abhigunawardena, Chair-elect of IEEE Sri Lanka Section, Professor Buddhika Jayasekara, as we host the Upskill Sri Lanka Section, Chair of IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka, Mr. Dhammika Marasinghe, Chair of IEEE Region 10 Young Professionals, Dr. Savitra Sivakumar, Chair of IEEE Student Activity Committee, Mr. Chamala Sulsinghe, and Sectional Student Representative, Mr. Vidura Dhananjay Bandara, and also our guest speakers for today, Dr. Kalpana Ambepitias, Senior Lecturer at General Sir John Kotalawala Defence University, Mr. Kanchana Veerasinghe, founder of Invictus Business Solutions Private Limited and Magical Mind Life Coaching, and next, Engineer Kirti Kodituakku, CEO and co-founder at Gendo Innovations Private Limited and Effective Solutions Private Limited, for today's event. So, also, I warmly welcome all the executive committee members of IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka and all other executive members of Sri Lanka section, affiliate groups, and technical chapters, and also our delegates who present here today on this occasion. It's my great pleasure to honor in welcoming you all to this wonderful evening. So, this is an excellent delivery on elevating soft skills, specifically for young engineers who see potential in their commit, innovate, inspire. So, I strongly believe that this session will be a great help for building up your personality and also unleashing the leader in you. Also, I hope everyone will join with us for the upcoming days of Upskill 2022. Tomorrow, we are going to have a panel discussion with 3 great panelists. And also on the 6th of November, the last day of Upskill will be happening as a physical session with an amazing flow of a workshop series. So I wish you all the best of luck and hope this Upskill 2022 will be something remarkable for you. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Sharil, for starting Upskill 2022. So before moving into today's session, we wanted to jazz up you guys a little bit with a small icebreaker session. So guys, what you have to do is you can join us with the icebreaker session. So I think you can wait. So the details will be shared in the screen now, and we will share the link on the chat box. And after that is shared, you can join the quiz. So if you can't go through the join through the link, you can scan the QR code and on the screen and log into the quiz. So let's wait a few minutes till the participants join. So guys, I think you all are joining, right? I can see participants joining one by one. So we'll wait a few minutes. So far we have 39 participants. Guys, hurry up and join. I think you'll enjoy this icebreaker session. Okay, now we'll start the session. Where is the FIFA World Cup 2022 scheduled for? Qatar, China, Argentina, Venezuela. Where is the FIFA World Cup 2022 scheduled? Qatar, China, Argentina, Venezuela. Okay, the time's up. So we can see that a lot of you all have given the correct answer. Qatar is the correct answer. We'll move on to the next question then. In the T20 World Cup series, the team will be playing against Sri Lanka on the 5th of November. Venezuela, Afghanistan, England, Australia. In the T20 World Cup series, which team will be playing against Sri Lanka on the 5th of November? Venezuela, Afghanistan, England, Australia. The time is up. Okay, we can see that Hansi. Okay, England. People, all of you all, most of you all have given the correct answer. England. Great job, guys. So, shall we move on to the next question? In the matrix, which skill does Neo choose? Blue, green, red, yellow. In the matrix, which skill does Neo choose? Blue, green, red, yellow. So we can see Cyril is in the lead, and okay, most of you all have given the correct answer. 17 have given the correct answer, red, and there's a debate between blue and red. So let's go. Which country has the largest nuclear arsenal in the world? USA, Russia, North Korea, India. Which country has the largest nuclear arsenal in the world? USA, Russia, North Korea, India. You have 5 seconds more. And time's up. So, Khalil is still in the lead. Then Rusit, Sanjeeva. Russia is the correct answer, and congratulations to everyone who gave the correct answer. Next question, please. In which series of films can you see a character named Frodo Baggins? In which series of films can you see the character named Frodo Baggins? Narnia, Harry Potter, Divergent, Lord of the Rings. In which series of films can you see a character named Frodo Baggins? All have and time's up. So Sanjeeva has come to the lead, and Sherry Hero is the second place. So you all have given the correct answer, Lord of the Rings. Great job, guys. We'll move on to the next question. What is considered the largest empire in history? Mongol Empire, British Empire, Roman Empire, Nazi Germany. What is considered the largest empire in history? Mongol Empire, British Empire, Roman Empire, Nazi Germany. Sanjeev is still in the lead with 5,340 marks. Yes, most of you all have given the correct answer, the British Empire. Let's move on to the next question. What is the relationship between Rick and Morty? What is the relationship between Rick and Morty? What is Rick's son? Morty is the grandson of Rick. Morty is the grandfather of Rick. What is the uncle of Rick? What is the relationship between Rick and Morty? I have 7 seconds. 5. Time's up. So Sanjeev is still in the lead with 6,240 points. Let's move on to the next question. Fill in the blank. Pavani blank Ratnayaka. Pavani blank Ratnayaka. Madhushi, Madhubashi, Madhubashini, Madhushika. You can guess the correct answer. Pavani Ratnayaka. But is it Madhushi, Madhubashi, Madhubashini, or Madhushika? You have 5 seconds to guess it. So the time is up. Let's see. Sanjeev is still in the lead and Tharindu has come forward. Most of you all have guessed Madhubashini. No, her name's Madhubashi. Let's move on to the next question. Which actor is most famous for his role in the X-Men series as Wolverine? Anjan Ramanathan, James Marsden, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman. Which actor is most famous for his role in the X-Men series as Wolverine? Anjan Ramanathan, James Marsden, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman. Sanjeev is still in the lead with 7,930 points. Hugh Jackman is the correct answer. Congratulations, guys. Next question, please. In which year did IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka establish? In which year did IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka establish? 2022, 2015, 2011, or 2015? In which year did IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka establish? 2022, 2015, 2011, or 2017? The final question, guys. Sanjeev is still in the lead with 8,770 points. And no, the answer is not 2015, the answer is 2011. IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka was established in 2011 October, in the month of October. Yes. So that was the last question, guys. So let's see who the winners are. So in the third place, we have Sherry Hero. And second place, Tharinduji. And congratulations, Sanjeeva. You won the first place for this icebreaker session. Congratulations, guys, and great job in participating in that icebreaking session. So let's move on to the session, right? With the okay. So let's start with the next session. So, a great leader attracts great people and knows how to hold them together. Leadership is an essential skill that us young professionals have to develop. So without any further delay, let me introduce you to the first limelight of today's evening. Mr. Kanchana Veerasinghe, founder of Mr. Kanchana Veerasinghe. So Mr. Kanchana Veerasinghe is the founder of Invictus Business Solutions Private Limited and Magical Mind Life Coaching. He is in a mission of inspiring, empowering, and helping people around the world. He is an entrepreneur, investor, life coach, leadership, and motivational trainer. And he is a graduate from YPAG University of Sri Lanka and a former marketing professional in the corporate sector. So, ladies and gentlemen, with pleasure, please welcome our first speaker for the evening, Mr. Kanchana Veerasinghe to address us regarding the influential leader of the workplace environment. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Vishmini. Thank you very much. And good evening, guys. I hope you are staying alive. I hope you are listening, and I hope you are really excited about the today's event. And as Vishmini said, it's about leadership. So with the time that I have, it's a kind of a very complex and very deep subject that we have to talk today. But however, I will manage in a very brief manner. So I hope you are, most of the people here are undergraduates and very young and willing to find your career path, maybe always in the career path right now. However, this leadership or the topic leadership is somewhat very important to you and me and everybody in the world. Why I am saying this? I see there is a leadership crisis in the world right now. So you might be confused. What is a leadership crisis? So whatever the problem, whatever the challenge that happens in our country and in our world is something related to leadership. Because someone in somewhere has not understood the values and the traits of leadership. So there is a problem. That's why I'm telling that. So let's understand what is leadership. Very simple manner, not in a very complex manner. I will share some of my experiences with you about leadership. So simply, I can say leadership is all about taking responsibilities. Leadership is all about taking responsibilities. So why I'm saying this, every leader or every person have different types of responsibilities that they have to take. Think about your parents, think about your father, mother, and think about the minor people or some minor workers in your university. They have responsibilities to take. If they are not taking their responsibility, there is a problem there. So the people who are really serious about their responsibilities, people who care or take care about the responsibilities that they have, eventually they have the leadership skill, right? So this is the most thing that people violate every day, taking responsibilities. Why? If you, let's say as an example, let's say you guys are going to watch a movie with your friends. And before you go to the theater, you and your friends gather and have a kind of a discussion, which movie that you are going to watch. But it's very difficult to come up to a conclusion because one say another thing, one say this movie, one say that movie, likewise. So why people are not coming to a conclusion in such kind of a simple situation? People are afraid to take that responsibility and tell this movie is better, let's go and watch this. And if the movie is not going in a happier manner, or if the movie is not good, people will start blaming you. They will bully you. So people are afraid of that, taking that risk. That's why people are not taking responsibilities. Because of that, the trait leadership is very limited. The breed of leaders are very limited in this world. But there are people who take responsibilities in different manners, and they have that skill. But there are some things that they have to polish up or improve. So let's say with this quality, taking responsibilities, and if you are a person who work in the present with your work, with your whatever you are doing, and if you have a vision about the future, if you have a specific idea about your future, what you are going to do, maybe a purpose or something, and you are working hard on that too, you will become a leader. If you are taking responsibilities, if you have a vision about the future, and while working in the present, and if you are directing to that vision, eventually you become a good leader. So that is the definition about leadership as I believe, because I am an entrepreneur. So I really believe about becoming a good leader. Otherwise, nobody can become success in entrepreneurship. So however, let's talk about very important characteristics, important traits about a good leader. So we can say simply, if you want to become a good leader, you should be a kind person. You should care about others. You should be a humble person, down to earth person, right? So you should be willing to learn something new. You should be a good learner. If you are not become a good learner, you are not growing. So you will not become a good leader. You should have the self-discipline. So these are the important characteristics of a leader. So to become a leader who are going to inspire others, before become that leader, you should lead yourself. You should give the leadership to yourself first by following these characteristics. Otherwise, how you are going to lead others? How you are going to tell them to be a good leader? Follow these things, follow that things. Nobody will follow you if you are not a kind of a person like that. So when considering these things, I have understood very important 4 traits about leadership that will be required in any place, in any manner. If you are going to a job, if you are starting your own business, if you are going to teach in your school or university, whatever you are doing, these 4 traits will be very important to become a leader. Right? So I will explain you one by one. First thing is, you should be a person who keep promises. Your promises should be kept. If you are breaking your promises every day, people will not trust you. Then if people are not trusting you, how you are going to influence them? If they are not trusting you, you cannot tell anything to do to them. They will not trust you. They will not follow you. If you are a leader, people should follow you. People should listen to you. People should act, take the action, whatever you say, according to your guidance. But if you are breaking promises every time, people will not trust you. Then you will not be a good leader. So that is the first important thing. Keep your promises to become a good leader. The second most important thing, as I see, you should become an active listener. You should listen to people before you talk. Most of the time from our society, the system has programmed us, we should talk every time. We should convince the others. We should deliver our ideas. Then you become a great person or a great leader. But before you talk, you should listen other people too. Why? When you listen to a person actively, they start to believe that you are respecting them. You are earning their respect too. If they believe that you are respecting them, you are caring them, you understand their ideas, emotions, and you have the empathy on their visions, they will start following. They will start listening back to you. They will start do whatever you tell. So listening is a very important thing. But most of the people are not listeners in the world. So they will not become good leaders. So the third most important characteristic of a leader is you should be always a kind-hearted person. You should be very kind. You should be care about the others. See, people don't care about what you know. People only care about whether you are caring about them. If you are caring about them, they will care about you. They only care about that. They don't care about your knowledge. They don't care about how much you know. They only care about how much you care about them. So become a kind-hearted person is a very important trait in leadership. So the last one is speaking truth. You should speak truth every time. You should tell the truth. But this is very difficult because in nowadays our country, our world is full of fake things, full of miserable things because of not telling the truth. People are not willing to tell the truth. People are not speak by heart. All are cheating. So speaking truth is very important because if you are leading some people, if you are leading a team or someone, if you are not speaking truth, if you are violating every time that trait, people will not trust you. People will not believe you because they know whatever you are telling will not happen because you break the promises. You are not telling the truth, and you will become eventually a selfish guy. You will labeled as a selfish person if you are not telling the truth and if you are not speak by heart. So these are the 4 main traits of leadership, which is very important to in any aspect. Let's say you are going to a job. Let's say you are working somewhere already, or you are willing to go to a job. You will not be a leader at once, right? First, you have to lead yourself. First, you have to follow these traits. When you follow these traits, people will understand you as a different person, a special one, a nice person. Your superior people will understand you, and they will start giving you more responsibilities. So if you are afraid of responsibilities, you will run away from the responsibilities. But you are not afraid of responsibilities, you will take it, you will do it, and you will grow your character. You will lead yourself, and then you will have an opportunity to lead more people. You will have a team. You can have an opportunity to lead them. And at that moment, you have an opportunity, you have a chance to show all these traits. Be a kind person, caring about the team, not become a selfish person, always be a selfless person. So they will follow you, they will believe you, they will care you as well. See, in lots of organizations, people are, the superior people, they just give orders. They just give the task what you should do. But if you are doing like that, people will do in a certain level that with a kind of a limit, in a limited capacity. They will work in a limited capacity. They will do their task not 100% that they can do, because you are not leading them. It's not inspiring, because you are just giving the order and they have to do it, because otherwise they will chase out from the job. But if you are an inspiring leader, if you are inspiring them by doing yourself first, by becoming an example to them, leading by example, they will give their maximum to the work. They will work with you hand on hand in a maximum level, right? They will not just do the work for 9 to 5. They will do something more. You will experience this, especially if you are becoming an entrepreneur. If you are working with a team in a business, you will experience this in a very great manner, right? So the 4 traits: keep your promises, become an active listener, always be kind, be caring with others, and speak truth. So the people who are following these traits become leaders. Think about the greatest leaders of all time, like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela. Why they become great leaders? Why they are considered as the greatest leaders of all time? They have followed these qualities or the traits or the characteristics of a leader 100%. Think about Nelson Mandela. He was suffered in the jail for decades. Why? Because of his vision for the people in the country. They were willing to sacrifice themselves because they are really selfless, not selfish. And they were very kind. They were very caring. Right? They speak always truth. That's why they always face troubles. If they're afraid of the responsibility in front of them, if they're afraid of the challenge in front of them, they can simply tell some lies and, take care of themselves. But because of following these traits 100%, they become greatest leaders. I'm not telling you to become a greatest leader of all time or become like them, but if you are working in an organization, there are some selfish things. You have to take care of you as well. But if you manage to follow these traits as much as you possible, you will be a special character within that bunch of people. It will be highlighted. People will see you. People will admire you. You will go up. You will find the path. You don't want to, cut other people, and you don't want to, by force, take that. You will find it. You will receive it, actually. So leadership is not a title that you put on your forehead. It's an act. It's an action. So you don't want to have that title. You don't want to have that pride. You just act, become a good person, following these qualities, characteristics, and that leadership will come to you because people will start follow you as a leader. In an organization, in an institute, in a business or whatever you are doing. So this is how you become a great leader. And especially if you are going to jobs, or if you are very young, if you are studying, you can start from your current situation. If you are studying in the university, you can take the responsibilities in the events that you organize in the all the things in the university community. It will not give a huge benefit to you at once, because let's say you are organizing an event and you are going to take the responsibility. It will not give you a fortune, but that experience will create your character. That experience will develop your character. Your character defines you as a leader. When you show that quality in your job also, in your future things, it will build your character. You gain that experience. It will build your character. And people will identify you as a leader. They will give you more responsibilities. It's not a burden, because you gain more experience when you're following those responsibilities. So that experience will build you as a character, and you will recognize as a leader one day. So your leadership, at least, let's say your organization is not treating you as well. Let's say you take responsibilities, but they're not treating you well. Then they don't, give the value to you. You can just simply keep that job and go out and find something else. Find the right place that you deserve. If it is not happening every time, just start something your own, becoming an entrepreneur. That skills that you develop, that character that you develop, will helpful to you to build your own empire one day. That's how I did. I was working in several companies, several private sectors, and I was not happy with some things, and I started my own businesses and started to build my own empire. So now I realized that the skills that I have developed so far during the journey was helpful to become a good leader, to build a good business. So likewise, the things that you are developing within you will be helpful, will be really valuable one day. Right. So these are the main things that I want to talk with you today, guys. So as a summary, I will say it is all about taking responsibilities. Leadership is all about taking responsibilities. If you are a person who are taking responsibilities, and if you have a vision about the future, some great thing, you have the potential to become a leader. So first, you should lead yourself, develop your characters, develop your good qualities in you, become a character, keep the promises, become a good leader, good listener, always be kind, and speak truth always. And then one day you will have the ultimate benefit out of it. So that's the simplest thing I can talk about leadership. And I would like to help you in any manner, any sense. If you connect me through social media, we can talk about these things furthermore. I can help you in many ways. And I would like to thank to the people who organized this event, especially IEEE, Ms. Pavani, who coordinated me to the event and supported me every time. And I would like to thank everybody who have participated here. So my final advice is, build your character, follow the good qualities, and build it within yourself. Lead you first, and then you will lead. One day you will lead lots of people and do a great impact to the world. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, everybody. And Vishmi, I think I can hand over the discussion to you.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure that our young professionals found the leader within themselves. So with the conclusion of the talk session now, we will move towards the Q&A session where our audience can have a good interaction with the event. As young leaders, our audience may have questions that arise in their minds. So now is the time to spill your heart out and ask the questions from our speaker, Mr. Kanchana Veerasinghe. Feel free to send all your questions in the chat box, or if it's best to present them verbally, you can unmute your mics right now. So, guys, if you have any questions, you can put in your chat. So we can see there's one question. As a leader, how would you avoid pressuring the team members to rush, but also risk them being overworked or underappreciated?
Okay, so to clarify the question again, as a leader, how would avoid pressuring the team members to rush? How would avoid pressuring the team members to rush, but also risked them being overworked or underappreciated. So, you know, when we are working with the team, we have to consider about the results too. That means we have to push them also. That means there might be targets, there might be goals. So pushing a person should be something that person should understood that it is something for the sake of them. I mean, why you are pushing them, there should be a reason, right? If you are pushing them without any sense, I mean, without showing the reason or without explaining it or not inspiringly, it will not make any sense. The problem is most of the leaders, the people who tell them as leaders, they push people, they tell them what to do, but they are not inspiring them. They are not doing it before. I mean, they don't show how to do it. They don't, they just tell them, but they haven't done it before. So if you are an inspiring leader, you should do it before. You should make an example for them. Then they will follow you. So according to the question, there's another question. Before come to that, I will complete the answer. You push people, you have to push people. But if you are pushing people and when the point of breaking out, I mean, when you push people continuously, there will be a point of breaking out. They will break from you. Before, you have to understand the breaking point. Before you come to the breaking point, you should again close with them, talk with them, caring with them, encourage them, inspire them, motivate them. And they will gain more energy and they will start to push again, right? Sometimes you have to hammer your people in your organization, right? But if they really felt that you are a caring person, even though you hammer them, it doesn't matter. They will not see it as a problem. Think about your parents. It's the easiest example. Your parents hammer you. Do you ever give up on your parents? Do you walk away from your home? Why? You know they love you. They love you. You know they care about you. So when they hammer about you for something, it doesn't matter. You can understand why they are doing it. So if first you have to be caring, then when you are pushing them, when you are hammering them, it's okay because you have that quality and they believe on you. Once you start gaining that belief from them, it doesn't matter. So appreciating them always appreciating your people. Even though they make a mistake, it's okay. You have to appreciate. And when you build that trait in you and when you are becoming a person, you can hammer at a certain point, you can hammer also. You can push them also up to the breaking point. Once you come to the breaking point, you have to understand it. Then you will stop and you should encourage them more, improve them more, talk with them more, listen to them more. What's the problem? What you should do for them. Then they will start again. So it's a kind of a process. Right? Okay, Vishmini, there is another question.
Yes. When I am not already in a leadership position, how should I set goals to practice leadership skills? And how do I know if I have the potential for it or not?
Well, it's very simple because that is the thing that I have explained so far. You cannot be a leader at once. You should lead your first. That means you should build the characters that I have mentioned so far. You should build your character first. then the leadership thing come to you. You cannot go and grab it, right? See, if you are a person who listen for everybody, if you are a kind-hearted person, all the traits that I have mentioned here, if you are following those things, building those things with self-discipline, people will start consider you as a leader. People will start listening to you, follow you, right? That is the actual way. I mean, you cannot grab it. Sometimes people think that you have your studies well, you go to a company, you have a good position, and there are people working under you, and you will think that you are the leader, ultimate leader, and they have to follow you. No, it doesn't happen like that. For a certain period of time, they will be there, but by heart they will not listen to you. They will be obey to your rules at the time, but once you are not there, they will speak bad things about you. They will speak bad things about you. So it's always building about your character, right? So it is difficult, actually. It is difficult. Building your character is the most difficult thing, right? But if you do that, the answer for this question will come to you. You don't want to think about how I should do. You don't want to think about how I can achieve that, right? Setting goals is something. Let's say if you are a person who are doing a job, so what's your vision? What should be your vision? What should be your goal? You can have organizational goals. I should reach this position. I should reach this level in this organization. Or you should have personal goals, financial goals likewise. So if you have that goals, let's say you have a team in your organization, you have a specific kind of department to work. So you should have a goal or a vision that our department should come to this level. Our sector should perform like this within this period of time, end of this year, end of 2 years, likewise. If you are running a business, you should definitely have that goals or the vision. Otherwise, you will not progress. So according to where you are, let's say you are a student. So this answer for this question will be different according to the situation, right? If you are a student, what should be your goal? What should be your vision? It might be an academic goal, having this kind of results. It might be something else, financial goals. You are going to start a business while you are doing your studies. And before you complete the graduation, I should come to this level financially. Might be anything. It's up to you. You should think about it. You should fix it. You should build your character, and you should work hard on it. Build your habits. Change your bad habits. Create your good habits. Right? Okay. I think I had something extra for that. Vishnu, anything? Any questions?
I think as the time is also going forward, so as the clock is ticking, we will have to end our Q&A session from here. So let's continue with our program. Thank you very much, Mr. Kanchana Singh, for that insight session and for sharing your experience. By listening to you, I'm sure our participants must have learned how to become an inspirational leader. It is a great pleasure that you accepted our invitation and made it to this session. So again, thank you very much, sir. As a sign of our gratitude, please accept the digital token of appreciation we've prepared for you.
Thank you very much, Vishnu. Thank you very much.
Okay. So without further ado, let us move on to the second session for the day. The modern workplace is more demanding, complex, competitive, collaborative, and diverse than ever. Hard skills are learned abilities acquired and enhanced through experience, practice, repetition, and education. But the importance of soft skills is on the rise. But what exactly are soft skills? The second session for today's talk session is about, namely, it is in the topic of survive and thrive in the workplace with soft skills, which will be conducted by Dr. Kalpana Abepitiya. Dr. Kalpana R. Abepitiya works as a senior lecturer at General Sir John Kathrawala Defence University. She obtained her PhD in entrepreneurship from the Huzhou University of Sciences and Technology in China, and her MBA was obtained in the National University. She completed her bachelor specializing in marketing management at the University of California. She has carried out several research studies on women in entrepreneurship, sustainability, climate change, disaster management, and green power marketing. She also served as a member of the steering committee for Global Young Greens and the coordinating committee of Asia Pacific Greens Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Dr. Kalpana R. Ambepitiya to speak about soft skills. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Vishmi. I think there is another question for the previous speaker. Are we going to give allow some time for that? Because I think it's better to answer that question.
Okay, ma'am.
So, Mr. Kanchana, please take.
Yes. Can you just explain the question, Vishnu? Can you?
Okay, sir. So, Lakilu was asking, I worked as a team leader in hackathon competition. Then there I removed someone who was not working in the team. I want to know that it is not always possible to remove group members in this way. What should be done if such a situation arises? Can you give an answer to the team's success when they neglect their responsibility?
Okay, so first thing you have to understand that when you become a leader, you cannot make everybody satisfied. That is one thing. I don't know the reason that you have put that person away. I don't know why you have removed it. But however, let's say it's something fair, right? The thing is, you cannot make everybody satisfied. You cannot make everybody happy. If you want to make everybody happy, you have to go and sell ice cream. Then you can make everybody happy, right? Sometimes if you have to keep the discipline in your organization, in your team. Sometimes if everything with that person is not going well, you have to take an action. But you have to communicate that. I have seen in some organizations, the employer just kick out the person away without explaining anything. Why? The reason, the clarification, nothing is there. You have to tell them that the problem is, what is the problem is. So my responsibility is to take an action. Can you understand why I have to take this action? Can you understand the mistake that you have done? So likewise, if you are communicating that, at least they will understand. If they not accept that the issue is okay, but they will understand it inside of them. You have to communicate it because you don't want to be a kind of a bias or selfish person there, and you cannot make everybody happy. You have to take the action. It's okay if the reason is 100% fair, and don't worry about that too, because you should not be guilty on that, because if you are a team, your vision should be something relevant to everybody, right? If someone is violating the great vision, or if that affects to the entire team, that will be a problem. As the leader, you have to take an action, but it should be communicated properly, and don't worry about satisfying everybody. Okay? I think the person has got a clear answer, Vishmi.
I hope so too, and thank you very much, sir, for clearing out that doubt, and thank you, Mrs. Kalpana, for giving the time.
You, Dr. Kalpana.
My pleasure.
So, shall I, madam? You can carry on.
We can start. Yes, we can start. So, good evening, everyone, and especially my thanks goes to the organizing committee for inviting me. I hope at the end of these few minutes you will get something and add something into your life, and that will add to your professional life, because like Vishmi explained, we are going to talk about the soft skills. And the other thing is, it is a guest speech, right? So in the guest speech, in the typical guest speech, we talk talk, and we have audience, and we don't know whether they listen or we don't know actually, and that is kind of a doubtful thing when it comes to online, because I can't see you, right? I can see all your beautiful photographs you added to your profile, Zoom profile, that's all. I can see Wish Me, but I can't see others, but it's all right. I'm not going to ask you to switch on your camera. It's all right, because we have to save energy, we have to save data and all. That is also soft skill to understand another. I'll explain that, right? So why I say this is not going to be a kind of a typical guest speech. I'm going to use a PowerPoint presentation, and I am going to use this as a kind of a lecture where the participants also talk, right? So I need your contribution, because there are a few things I don't know, so I need to know from you. And there are a few things, a little bit some kind of a case-based questions are there. I need to ask from you. You know why? Before I joined this program, I got to know that fresh graduates are here. I hope all of them are working now. You newly started your professional life, and the undergraduates also there, right? Therefore, what we are going to discuss now is very, very important. And by a speech, I can't teach you what are soft skills, right? It should develop in you, and that will be executed when you actually work, right? That is my purpose. So please give me the access to share my PowerPoint. It's a very small one, right? Can I share the PowerPoint? Is the access given?
Yes, madam. I think the
Access given. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to my PowerPoint and okay. Okay, my this is not working. So I'm going to set up a slide slow from here. Sorry, something is happening. Okay, start from the beginning, right? The below icon wasn't work. So now you can see me and also my PowerPoint, right? The given topic is this: to survive and thrive in the workplace with soft skills. So survive and thrive, right? Survive and thrive. Why? Can't we survive without soft skills? Can't we thrive? Can't we grow ourselves professionally in our workplace without soft skills? But in our universities, what we learn is like not completely or not directly soft skills. Nobody's teaching you soft skills, right? In the university, like lot of theories, right? Techniques you are learning, and finally you graduate with a piece of paper which is called your graduate certificate, and you will be considered as a graduate, right? Then what is this? To survive and thrive in the workplace with soft skills. You know, like even when we are learning in the university, when we engage with the university work, with our the colleagues, our friends, our classmates, with others, engage with a lot of activities at the university, and also while we are studying, we also develop this soft skill. It comes to our life, right? And also when you work in a workplace, a very professional environment, this soft skills are coming to your life. You have to learn these soft skills. But now, employers, we will say like this properly, talent acquisition professionals, right? And also human resource managers, they're looking at soft skills even from the fresh undergraduates. Those who are not having previous working experience, even still you are looking at the soft skills, right? Then that is exactly something say, right, about surviving and thriving. So to survive, to standing out of the crowd, right? When you go and apply for a job, you have to be selected, no? then soft skills is one of the baseline skills now, right? And when you grow up in your career, again, this is a baseline, right? I am going to show you some statistics. You will understand, right, the importance of soft skills now. So, right, that's why I'm sharing the slides also, right? Because I can't remember these statistics and I'm not trained to memorize a number. I'm a thinker, so I always have critical thinking in many things, right? Especially in my discipline. So I'm not going to remember statistics. So first one, everybody know LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn is conducting several surveys. So one of the survey, they are referring to Global Talent Trends report, right? According to that report in 2021, 92% of the talent acquisition professionals reported that the soft skills are equally or more important than the hard skills. Look at it's from the overall world, right? Because this is a virtual network, anybody can join, right? So this is the LinkedIn is one of the base hiring, the talent acquiring, right? The professional network we have in the social media, right? So people have participated in survey, especially the talent acquisition professionals, and this is what they concluded. 92%, right? They emphasize that the soft skills are equally important like hard skills. And in the same report, they say 89% of them, right, explain that the new hires, it means new candidates, fail due to lack of soft skills. Look at new candidates. So these new candidates could be a fresh graduate or maybe an undergraduate or a person maybe having few experiences, right? So then look at the importance of improving our soft skills. So the topic is correct, right? Survive and thrive. And also there are some other statistics also there, right? So another report from the LinkedIn, that is the workplace learning report, 9% of, give me a second, the 59% of the US hiring managers believe it is difficult to find candidates with the right soft skills, right? Right soft skills. So look at them. Even in United States, this is something lacking among the I cannot say it's fresh, right? I cannot say it's new. I cannot say it's junior, right? Overall, 59% of the HR managers stated that, right? Soft skills are lacking in the new hiring, right? And also, Wall Street Journal emphasize, right? Soft skills are vary according to the industry. So I know in this audience there are engineers, right? So maybe you may from STEM, right? Maybe from science, mathematics, IT, engineering, right? So look at most of your jobs, right, are technical jobs, could be technical jobs, but the required soft skills could be vary from one job to the other job. For example, a marketing executive, right, need more soft skills because directly dealing with the customer. And if you take a nurse, don't you think that the nurse doesn't need soft skills development? Required, right? Because she needs to handle, she needs to manage with the patients because patients are coming from different backgrounds, right? So we have to understand the patient. So then soft skills are equally important. And another one, National Association of Colleges and Employers, again from the United States, right? They also emphasize that the leadership and the ability to work in a team, right, are very important because leadership, ability to work in a team, more teamwork, we consider as soft skills, right? So they emphasize very heavily, we need soft skills, we need to develop soft skills within our employee. And most of the technical careers also require soft skills as a baseline skill, right? So that is why, remember I started from that. Soft skills is the baseline skill. So surviving, thriving, right? It is, right? It is important to survive, to thrive. Soft skills are important. So then, now I need to hear the voice of audience. According to you, what we call soft skills? Anyone? You can talk or you can send to the chat. Not waste my time, right? I'm given a very limited time. Anyone? Anyone has an idea? Don't stay like you don't know because you're already professionals. Teamwork, okay. One answer, teamwork. Any more? Leadership, okay. Any? Presentation skills. Presentation skills, Vishmi, goes more with interpersonal skills. Right? I'll come to this, but presentation, I'll come to that also. Problem solving, critical thinking, okay. Right? Creativity. Yes. Okay. But I'll give you an overview like this. Right? Some people say it's social skills. Right? Some of the answers among you, there are a few more. Time management, okay. One answer is there are skills that we have other than education qualifications like teamwork, teamworking, communication, okay, the answers are coming up. Brainstorming, okay, one says time management, confidence, assertiveness, okay. I accept all of these, right? But all of these things we can categorize into all these things. So I'm straight away moving to this. Social skills, right? People skills. Social skills, people skills. What is that? People skills, right? You have to be an active listener. People skill. You have to talk nicely to the other, right? People skill. You have to understand another. People skill. Social skills, right? You have to develop networks. You have to stay within that. You have to use these people skills within that network. So social skills. Some would say communication skills, right? It's already there in one of the answers. Personality traits, right? Agreeableness, the original, then analytical, right? Being analytical, determined, right? There are many personalities, right? Creativity, right? One answer was there. So that is. Then social intelligence, right? Career attributes. I'll explain what is this career attributes. Like tolerance, stress management, team orientation, influencing others, right? These are we considered as the career attributes. Social intelligence, and the last one is emotional intelligence. Anybody knows the difference between that? Oh, what is social intelligence and emotional intelligence? So without wasting my time, because there are areas will come for you to answer. Emotional intelligence is about us, right? It's about us observing, evaluating our mental and emotional process. That is the complete picture of emotional intelligence. And then what is social intelligence? Right? Some people argue that social intelligence and emotional intelligence are same. No, there's a very slight difference, right? But it's same. Social intelligence is inside the emotional intelligence. Social intelligence is the way, right? How effectively we communicate with others. How effectively we communicate with others is social intelligence. So we have to listen to them, right? We have to listen to people. Listen, right? Our listening skills. And we know the people in our network, in our society coming from different backgrounds. We have to respect, we have to show the respect, we have to give them the chance, right? Equality, empowerment, right? The quality, right? So all these things are coming under social intelligence. Not only that, you have to maintain who you are, right? Because you know, like when we go into different levels of the society or different section of the society, we have seen some people change their, or let's say like personality, right? Or change the way who they are. It means a little bit artificial. You're showing that a person who is not within you, right? But social intelligence is actually, right? You need to develop you through your emotional intelligence, and you are representing you even in the society, right? So all these things are coming under social intelligence. So this is a little bit a complicated thing, but it's not simple, right? However, that is again, right, living with. Only thing is we could not recognize these things, right, when we go and work, right, and also when we live in the society. So soft skills are the combination of all these, right? But whatever the thing you mentioned, right, we can categorize under each of them, right? Some, for example, communication, right? One of your answer was communication skills. Yes, communication skills is one of the category, and also we can again put it under the emotional intelligence and social intelligence. So then what are the marketable soft skills, right? Because we are going to talk about the professional life now. We are going to talk about our professional life. So then, okay, we are going to talk about our professional life. Then what are the marketable soft skills? So I'll show you, right? Without asking even that from you, I'm going to show you that. These are the soft skills commonly, right? Looking by the industry or the corporate sector or professional, right? Your HR managers, talent acquisition professionals, they're looking at these things, right, in their employees or their potential candidates, right? Even when you go and face for an interview, right, they will see, they will test your attitude, right? They will see the way you communicate, right? And they will ask a little bit about your previous work experience, right? They will ask from you, right? Okay, what are your weaknesses, right? So then you have to tell that all, right? Sometimes these things will be evaluated, right? Even sometimes from your behavior, you will be evaluated. You know, some of the companies are there, their interview process started from the first call they give it to you to inform you that you have an appointment, right? So that is the first in their stage in their interview process, right? So that is one. So then when we assume like, right, you are working in an organization, so you need to develop these particular soft skills at least in you. Attitudes, communication, you know like what I mean, attitudes, right? You have to have positive attitude. You have to be very positive, right? You cannot be lethargic. You have to be very positive. You have to have positive ideas. You have to have positive opinions towards the other, right? You have to be positive to the work given. You have to be very positive with the team that you are working with. You have to be positive with the given the target, right, or the goal that you are going to achieve, right? So you have to have a very positive attitude. You have to be very pleasant. You have to have a very good positive attitudes, and also you have to be very professional in your work, right? That is also reflecting. Your attitude reflects from your professional behavior. Remember that, right? I basically in my university, right, in our faculty, I'm the career guidance advisor, right? So many companies contact me directly, right, asking graduates and undergraduates for the employment opportunity. So therefore, we are building a little bit a good rapport, and most of the time I get this word from them. They have attitudinal problems, right? We have to do something. We have to change this. Look at, right? They're highly considering the attitude. So remember, you have to be positive, right? Communication. When it comes to communication, verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Verbal means your tone, your speech, right? And the words you are going to use, right? So all these things are coming under verbal communication. Then the non-verbal, your expression, right? And communication means not only you are verbally communicating, you are listening also. Active listening is what? Listening first, then respond, right? Listening first. You have to be a very good listener. One of the major characteristics of a good leader, listener. Then I saw most of you were having problems in leadership, right? be a good lead, good listener, right? You can be a good leader. Then work ethics, right? Some of the beliefs we have at our workplace, kind of moral good, right? So these things, right? Sometimes they might ask you, okay, what will you do to reduce the electricity bill? Sometimes, right? Because the company has taken a decision and added to the policy also, we have to minimize our electricity bill from this to now, right? And we have to move to some renewable energy solution. So then they might be looking at their employees also, what is their idea, whether they have a good idea, they have a good opinion or bad opinion about it, right? Are they really saving the energy, right? Kind of a thing. Then teamwork. Everybody knows about this teamwork, right? So, you know, in working in a team, everybody, right? We expect that everybody must work equally in a teamwork. No, right? Not everybody should equally work. Everybody should work, right? Equally on the talents they are in, the talents they have, on their specialized area. Then you are going to be a good team, right? So if you want to become a good leader, understand, right? What are the talents, abilities, skills of each and every member of your team, right? And assign, delegate the duties accordingly. You will become a very successful team, right? That is one. Then the leadership, you had a particular session about the leadership, so I'm not going to comment on that, right? But when you have all these characteristics, all these soft skills with you, you will be a very good leader. And the other thing is time management. We all know the importance of managing time. In a corporations, in professional life, time management means saving money, right? Then decision making. You have to have the confidence to make decisions. Sometimes a task is given to you, right? And you may be alone. You have to make the correct decision, right? As an employee. So you have to develop the confidence in you. You have to develop it, right? You have to have that confidence to make the decision and execute it and get the result of it, right? So decision making. You know, decision making is something that we have to develop in our workforce now, because they are not making decisions. Our people are not trained to make decisions, right? And also I'll come to the another one right later. Yeah, I'll take this also. Critical thinking, decision making, right? You know, again in the United States, 54% of human resource managers, right, explain in a survey that critical thinking is lacking in their employees, right? Critical thinking is lacking in their employees. Even if it happens in United States, right, it is common in everywhere. Critical thinking is lacking. And critical thinking is what basically? You see the big picture clearly, right? You collect some data and information, you analyze it, and you make a judgment on it, right? That is what we call simply critical thinking is. So then you are leading to the decision making also. So why can't you do that alone, right? If you are an employee for your organization, on behalf of it, on behalf of your duty assigned to you, right? Be a critical thinker and make correct decisions. And conflict resolution. That is one very common in work environment, right? It's very common in work environment, conflict, right? Because we are people, we are human beings. Some people are there, even they haven't not done anything for us, anything to us. We don't like it, right? So there are different type of people working in one organization, right? So then they are coming from different backgrounds, they have different personalities, right? And they have different expectations. Therefore, disputes cannot, right? There can be conflict. So how you can solve conflict within your team, within your employee, right? That is also considering as a soft skill. Networking, how you have developed your networks, right? This is a very good thing for us, Steven, right? Our professional life, our profile, uplifting our profile, one way is developing your network, right? So you have to have people with different skills, different experts, within your network, right? Automatically, your knowledge will increase. Automatically, your capabilities will increase and your profile will be highlighted, right? So networking is important. How much you are creating the network, right, within your organization, external to the organization, right? That is very important. And the another one, problem solving, right? How you can solve a problem. So critical thinking, imagination is very important, right? Not the critical thinking, creative thinking. Creative thinking is important. Always organizations require fresh idea, fresh idea. They need to implement fresh ideas coming from their employees to the practice. They need to introduce it to the market, like Google, right? So fresh ideas coming from employees, converting it to the products and presenting to the market, right? So problem solving, when the problem is there, even it could be a technical problem, could be a marketing problem, right? Your employees, right? As a contributors to the organization, we have to have a critical, we have to have a creative thinking. The last one, empathy. What is that? Understanding the other person, right? Understanding the other person. So remember, right? All the time I'm telling you this, don't get angry at your work, right? Sometimes your colleague or maybe your assistant has done a very kind of a big mistake, right? So then you get angry and you're scolding at him or her, right? In the early of the morning. But who knows, right? She or he may be having some family issue, maybe having some personal problems, maybe having some problems on the way he was coming to the office. We don't know, right? What are the consequences? What are the drawbacks? What kind of difficulties people are going through? Even we have, right? We have problems. So according to the problems we are facing, our mood changes, right? Mood switching. Then how we are going to tackle it, right? So always think like that, right? Before you act aggressively on somebody, on something, right? Breathe well, right? Think about, right, in the perspective of that person, right, in the mind of that person, and think if I am, right, if I am, what has happened to me, right? What has happened to me when I'm coming, when I was coming to the office, at my home, right? Or maybe one of my child is sick, right? Anything can happen to anybody at any time. So always don't get angry, right, on anything, because that is again coming under emotional intelligence and social intelligence, right? So these are reflecting in your career, remember, right? If you want to become a good leader, good boss, right, you have to be very talented and you have to be high in your soft skill, right? So moving to my last section in the presentation, right? Some situations I am creating here, right? You have to answer in an interview. How do you explain your work in the previous workplace? Any ideas? Again, you can send to the chat. In an interview, how do you explain your work in the previous workplace? What you have done? Because it's important. They will ask, right? In your second interview, right? In your second workplace, they will ask many questions. Okay, why did you leave that place? And what was the duties assigned to you? How did you work? How you are going to answer this question? Anyone? Okay, got one answer. By telling what you have done and the things you learn from the organization. Even if I had a bad experience, I have to express it in a positive way. Okay. Are there anyone? Any more answers? Okay, right? Learn this, right, for your future interviews. Don't ever use I. There are certain areas may require for you to use I. I did this, right? Okay, one answer again. Okay, you should never let the previous workplace look bad. Yes, that is another good one, right? Another good one. Never show that your previous workplace is bad, right? Always explain that you have learned a lot from it and you have contributed a lot. But nowadays, in interviews, right, always show that you were a member of the team. So we, and give the credits to those who have done it, right? And also give the credits to those who have deserved, right? So in your team, and show that you are one of the team member of a successful team, right? Always we. There are some cases you have to use I, but most of the time when you are explaining your workload, your work performances at the previous place, use always as we, right? Because your hiring managers will look at your teamwork, right? They will see, right, your teamwork skills through your explanation, right? You are not going to be suited to a team if you always want to explain yourself. But if you want to explain everything as a teamwork, they will fit you in a team. They will say that you are going to fit to the teamwork, right? Because teamwork is one of the soft skills they are looking for. Another example, mistakenly you have sent a document to one of the clients without your boss approval. So how do you handle this situation? How you are going to handle the situation? Mistakenly you have sent a document to one of your clients without the your immediate boss approval. This is a very rare incident, but that can be happen. No? So then how you are going to handle this? What's the first word you are going to tell to your boss? Any answer? What's the first word you are going to tell to your boss? Okay. Okay, one answer. Two, sorry. First you have to inform the boss and we apologize. Okay. Right? You know, right? That's the word I wanted to hear. Inform your boss at once you notice the mistake. First apologize and then let them know it happened by mistake. It's all right to say sorry at this situation. But my point is this. In a day, how many times we hear the word called sorry? Right? At office and from our beloved ones, right? We do mistakes. We repeat mistakes and we continue sorry. Right? Sorry is the most common word we are using now. So even at the workplace, if you continue sorry to every mistake that you are that you do, right? You are creating a very bad image on you, right? It reflects, it shows that you are a weaker person. It shows your lack of confidence. So then what you can say, rather saying sorry, I take the full responsibility. I'll correct it. Thank you very much for drawing my attention to this. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your response. Next time, I will definitely bring the document to you. Right? So, be a little bit confident. Why? We are human beings. We do mistakes. But don't repeat mistakes every day, frequently. Right? If you have done one mistake, don't ever repeat it in your workplace. Right? But we will do mistakes because when we are given a new project, if you are new to something, new to some task, right, there can be a high possibility to do some mistakes, but it's all right. But don't repeat it again and again. Don't repeat sorry again and again, right? The last situation, since engineers are here, you have been appointed to lead a construction project in a rural area. right? But you found that 3 decades ago, a landslide killed thousands of people who lived in that area. So how you are going to start your work, right? So there are 3 different scenarios I gave you, right? Looking at 3 different soft skills, right? The first one is basically, right, looking at, I forgot to tell you what is the soft skills looking at it, right? In an interview, how do you explain your work in the previous, the work in the previous workplace, right? It's teamwork. The second one, right? So that is about the communication and social intelligence. And then the third one, right? So how you are going to handle, how you are going to start your work? This is related to critical thinking, right? The situation is related to critical thinking and decision making. Any answer? So you are given a very serious task, right? It's a construction project, right? But you found that through the history of records, there was a landslide that killed thousands of people, but that has happened 3 decades ago. Now what you are going to do? You have to check the hazard identification firstly, right? Not even the hazard identification, you have to check whether it is, yes, I got an answer. Yes, think about how to construct without hazard. Okay. It's not only about constructing it without hazards. You have to think about, look at the big picture. Big picture is not only you are going to like the finish from the time you open that construction to the public. No, the risk is starting from the point where you open or give the construction to the public, right? The complete project. So then, okay, another one. Talk to the villagers, get their perspective, opinion, and talk with the heart to heart. Make sure your construction won't repeat. Okay, right? So hazard identification. Then let's say like it's a risk assessment. Next one, right? And preparing some plans, right? Preparing some health and safety measures, right? Right? Yeah, preparing some safety measures. And also designing a kind of financial budget in case, right, for the next disaster, right? So it's a kind of a step that you can do. This is what I'm going to do. So that's why I explained that process to you, that particular steps to you. You may be having a very creative way to do it. But anyway, we have to assess the disaster potentiality, right? So that is called disaster identification. We have to assess the disaster identification, right? Hazardous identification. What kind of risk involved with that? Risk assessment. Then only we have to come to a conclusion. Okay, are we going to do this project or not at this place, right? Because it has happened 3 decades ago, but who knows? It will happen again in this decade, right? So then this is something, okay, letting the relevant authority to know and bringing the experts to do the research and confirm the safety next plan in the construction based on the data. Yes, correct. That is called critical thinking, right? So, to talk about the soft skills, right? To see how you are going to practice your soft skills at the work, right? We need hours and days, right? But within a few minutes, I hope that you have gained something, right? So, with the given time, right? So I try to explain, I try to talk about what kind of soft skills are required, right? What is important of this, right? And also how the few techniques to develop it, right? New. So I wish you all the very best, right? And I would like to hand over the meeting to Wish Me, right? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much, madam, for that insightful session. And I'm sure our young professionals had things to take note of. Now we will allow our participants to clear up their doubts in the Q&A session. So guys, you can include your questions in the chat and unmute your mic and present your questions if you want to. Uh, so, guys, do you all have any questions? Let's wait a few minutes. Okay, ma'am, there's a question. Shall I read it out?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes,
as you think, ma'am, what would be the best way to introduce ourselves to a newly met person? And if he keeps asking more details about ourselves, how to ignore them nicely without breaking the business conversation?
Okay. To introduce yourself to a new person, it depends on the situation. So I think you are referring to a business context, right? A business conversation. I think if somebody is asking too much of questions, for example, someone is asking too much of personal questions from you in a business dialogue, I think that person is not professional enough, Aparna. Because you have to be very professional in the business conversation, right? And you have to focus only on that, right? But anything related to the business you are talking, right? You are bounded to answer those questions. Right? But when you introduce yourself, your question is when you are introducing, okay, my name is this, and this is my post, right? I am here as a senior manager in production, right? So we have these facilities in that with this employee capacity, right? So like that, you can explain explain anything related to the business, right? If somebody is go ahead of it and asking too much of question about your personal things, then you have to stay away from that person because that person is not professional. There are certain situations we get to talk about our personal things, not in the business, not in the professional context, right? So then what you need to do is, okay, like you're asking what kind of strategies we can use now. So you just forget, ignore those questions, right? And try to get his attention to the situation. Yes, Mr. Nihal, it's like this because we have to have another meeting also. So you can say like that, but it's a little bit harsh to tell that we have another meeting, right? If it's an important client. So then without even telling that, you can say this kind of a machine that we are looking for to implement in our process, therefore it can increase the productivity, it can reduce the working hours like this, and it can reduce the number of the employees because our turnover is very high. So like that, you keep focusing the particular issue that you are talking about, or particular business that you are handling, right? And my advice is when you are go and work in when you are in a professional work, right? Don't explain your personal things to anybody, any stranger, right? This is something away from the professional skills, soft skills and all. It's something social security matter, right? And there's another question, two questions, Vishmi. I think, Aparna, I answer your question. I'm moving to Baba Gauri's question. Shall I read out this, Vishmi? How can we...
Whatever you prefer, ma'am.
Okay. How can we explain that we have a particular soft skill when we applying for a job? How can we explain that we have a particular soft skill? Don't go and explain you have this kind of soft skills in you. I have seen in CVs you are listing down, especially our fresh graduates and those who are looking for internship. In a small section in the CV, they are saying the soft skills, right? So in the personal skills, negotiation skills. So basically, like you're writing down all the type of skills the employers are looking at. But actually, when you go and work, sometimes they find that you don't have that skill, right? So show that in your behavior. Even in interview, I know, right? In my time, when we were going interviews as management trainees and all after the graduation, right? This happens to one of my friends. He went in, right? He went in to the interview board, and there was a piece of paper, right? Piece of paper. it looks like somebody has thrown that to the floor. So he picked that and put that on the bin, right? And went to the panel, in front of the panel, and got seated, right? So this was the reason for him to get that job. Why? The concern that he showed, right? He did not neglect that piece of paper on the floor, because, in the corporate sector, they maintain their environment nicely, right? And we are considering about the safety, the cleanliness, the beauty, right? Everything even in our work environment, right? So, and the other thing, you have to show that you are a kind of a person, you are a kind of a good citizen. You save, right? You are a kind of a saving person. You are kind of a person who is having the concern, conscience, right? So show your soft skills to your behavior, right? So don't go and tell, I have these soft skills. Show. So that is why, as undergraduates, when you are studying at university, right? Collect the work that you are doing, not only the studies. Collect all the extracurricular activities into your CV. When they're looking at your CV, when they say the outcome of your work that you perform in the university, they will recognize that you have developed certain something, right? Okay, I hope that I answered that question. Okay, Aparna, right, thank you. Then Ashani, is it okay to gain more knowledge doing higher studies while engaging in a workplace? If so, how can I balance both in an effective way? It's very easy, Ashani. Even I have done that, right? I have done even when I was doing my bachelor's, like halfway of the bachelor's, master's, 2 masters I have, right? And some postgraduates qualifications I have, and also my PhD. PhD, like it was a full-time one, but I was in abroad, right? So then we did. Everybody can do. You can. And Ashani, you are a girl. I really, really encourage you to continue your education. Don't stop, right? So being a woman, there's no any reason for you to stop your education, and there's no any reason for you to stop working, right? You have full rights to work. You have full rights to educate yourself and continue your career. So how we are going to plan that, right? So in your age, I assume that you are still single, or maybe you may be having a boyfriend, or you are not yet married, right? So then you have very less responsibilities compared to us, right? So what you need to do is, okay, go to the office, right? I don't know what kind of work duties you have, but anyway, when you are working in the private sector, you get a lot of work to do, right? So then it's more than 8 hours work. Okay, perform it. Don't bring your office work to home. Keep the office work limited to the office. Keep your studies limited to your home or the university, right? Don't mix that together, right? And also every day have an hour at least to study. Even if you are not following any degree program now, even any master or any professional qualification, at least spend your time to study, right? Spend your time to study a new subject. Spend your time to study, spend your time to listen to kind of a very fruitful discussion, an interview, or watch a video which is talking about some kind of a new knowledge in a new discipline, something related to your work, but something related to your future career development, right? Follow it, study it. So always allocate at least 1 hour from your day to continue your study. So when you start your master's, right, go to the class, right? Go to the lectures. That will not be some kind of important for you to listen to the lectures again and again. Therefore, go participate your classes, go home, right? Do some exercises. That's the best way. Because whatever the thing you are learning in your master courses, you are practically applying in your work. That is the purpose of we need to have master's degree, right? In order to facilitate us in our higher position, right? So Ashani, there are a few questions, so I am going to move to that. Is that clear to you? I think I answered that. Okay, Baba Gauri, thank you. And another one, Sadita, any suggestions on how to discuss terms in an interview? How to express your concerns without sounding rude? Yeah, like this. I'll get myself into this. It's like this. I'm a kind of a person, not now, right? I believe that it doesn't mean that I did not have good teamwork. I had some teamwork, but all the time, when someone is in my team, not for performing, completing his task, I just dump into that, I volunteer it and I complete it, right? I had this kind of an practice in my previous work because my only expectation is to complete the task on time because we are achieving a goal, right, as a team. So then if I tell this to my interviewer, right, sometimes that person will not agree on that. That person would say, no, everybody should perform the given task. So why we are paying them if they are not doing it, right? So it's a waste of money, waste of time. And you are performing 2 tasks, right? And then what is happening to your productivity? That will go down. Efficiency will go down, right? Then how you are going to explain this? It's like this. I'm a kind of a person, I always want to achieve things complete on time. So I'm a punctual person. So when somebody is having some trouble to get the things done, I would like to help that person and together we get that work done, right? So like that, not in a very rude manner, even not rude at all, right? Explain, right, what is your concern. So you have to be a little bit strategic, Sajita, in this case, right? I don't know what kind of concerns you have, right? So I explain my one, right, and fitting into your question. I think, is that okay, Sadita? If you have further more questions, you can ask. Okay, Ashani. I think, all the questions are done with me. I answers all the questions.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
The one from Fatima. As a woman, it is always compulsory for us to be under a man, especially when it comes to girl. There are no many rules and regulations where we always has to be in a circle. So as a woman, how can we overcome from this? So it's like this, Fatima. You know that as a woman, we have to play some roles in the society, in our life, right? As a daughter, then as a girlfriend, as a wife, as a mother, as a grandmother, right? As aunties, as sisters, as friends, right? So we have to perform several roles in our life. And you say, I know that in your case, it is always compulsory for you to under a man, right? It's all right. It's okay, right? I'm not saying you to, okay, you have to break all these rules and conditions and go out. But, right? As a woman, right, you have to have your own say, right? Especially the way we are moving. Let's take the whole world. Where are we are heading now, right? Where we are heading now. We are heading to crisis. We are heading to the combination of problems. The world is not going to be the same as it was yesterday. We are going to be very combined. We are going to be in a very big troubles, right? Which were not in yesterday. But the next day, tomorrow, the problems will be very severe. So then, as a woman, financially, right, you have to be strong. And you have to have a good confidence to face the challenges alone. Because we don't know what will happen to us. Sometimes the man who are supporting us, taking care of us, we don't know what will happen to that, right? Because we are living in an area, right? According to the scientists, according to the new reports now, the climate change is going to be severe. That is one thing. Energy crisis is another one. And according to the World Bank, recently issued a new report, and they say that in 2023, it's going to be a global financial crisis, right? Look at it. It's going to be a combination of the problems. So then, Fatima, we cannot stay like we were yesterday. So then, grab some talents to you and have some education qualifications to you, right? manage your time for your family, for your kids and all, and work somewhere, right? I always prefer if anybody is engaged with business, so you can start your own business, right? So try to be a little bit independent financially, try to be a little bit independent in your thoughts, because that is very, very important. We don't know, along us, we will have to face challenges in the future. So then we have to get ready for it, right? It's not going to harm anybody. It's not going to harm your tradition. It's not going to harm your religion. It's not going to harm our culture. No, nothing, right? As a person, keep your qualities like that, right? As a person, person, perform all the roles I mentioned throughout our life, right? But be confident in that. Get ready to take the challenge, right? Therefore, education, finance, right? You have to have a little bit with you, right? I know that. I had many students like you. This is the same advice I gave to them also in previous cases, right? I hope that worked with you, Fatima. Okay, Vishmi, I think all the questions are over. And the long session for the questions, I think.
So thank you very much, madam, for sharing your knowledge with us. And we appreciate you accepting our invitation, nevertheless, your busy schedule. And as a sign of our gratitude, please accept the digital token of appreciation we've prepared for you.
Thank you very much, Vishmi. Thank you very much, IEEE Young Professional Sri Lanka. Thank you very much for the invitation, and I hope something you have gained from me. And I wish everybody the best, right? And be responsible and good citizens to the planet.
It was a pleasure having you, ma'am. So that concludes the end of the second talk session for the day. Next up is an interesting talk session specifically directed towards our young engineers. We all know that being part of an industry, we all need to manage our career and life. Our next esteemed speaker will surely give you a valuable knowledge under the topic Managing Career as a Young Engineer. Let me introduce our final speaker for the day, Engineer Kirti Kodithuakku. Engineer Kirti Kodithuakku is the CEO and co-founder of Gendo Innovations Private Limited and Effective Solutions Private Limited, which focuses on biomedical innovations and software solutions. He obtained his bachelor's degree from the University of Moratuwa, specializing in electronics and telecommunications engineering. He has been an enthusiastic entrepreneur in the industry, and with a passion for entrepreneurship, he started the Entrepreneurship Society at the University of Moratuwa. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Kirti Kodithuakku.
Thank you, Vishnu. I think I'm audible, right? So
yes.
So for the sake of presenting my presentation very well, so I'll stop my video, right? So from here onwards, I'll continue through voice. So let me share my screen and quickly run you through few tips to build your career and and to become a good innovator or successful entrepreneurs. Right. So, as you said, I have been an innovator, engineer, and an entrepreneur. Right. To build my career, there is one thing that keeps me motivated. That's my passion. Right. The first thing I want to draw your attention is this passion. How to identify someone's passion. So if the true beauty is if you identify your passion, then you're unstoppable. So now we have about 50 students here in this whole seminar. So I want at least 10 of you to understand your passion and try to release that passion from today onwards, right? So let's do this quick activity and identify the passion. So there are 3 questions to identify your passion. The first one is, what makes you come alive, right? So as engineers, I think you are, you are really passionate on learning some engineering subject. You might be passionate on coding. You might be passionate on playing games. Try to think about your leisure time, right? To understand this question properly, you have to understand what kind of things you like to do with, with no restriction. Say, for example, when you finish all the exams, what is the activity you are going to do, right? When you are having free time, right? What is the activity you are going to do? So list down those activities, right? Then after that, what you're good at. You might be thinking that you are good at various things, but to understand what you're really good at, you have to talk to your friends. So by talking to your friends and teachers and parents, you can understand what you are really good at. So basically, you can take this kind of example. Let's say I would think that I am good at singing, right? But in my neighborhood or in my class, if I'm not being voluntarily invited to do singing, that means even though I like it, I'm not good at it. So my neighborhood, my friends are not really highlighting me for that skill, right? Try to identify what is the best set of skills you have, uh, by taking that feedback. And then you should understand what is the what is the paying jobs in the world, and then try to identify the intersection. Now, say for example, if you are a good singer, there are various ways to earn billions of money by doing singing, right? Or by producing the music cards, right? But let's say, to become that kind of person, you have to really identify what kind of skill you have and what kind of passion you have. Then only you have unlimited amount of energy to pursue. So basically, so that's the sort of activity to understand the passion. I think that is very important for anyone, not only engineers. Even though you are a school student, or even you are a professional in the industry, you can do this activity and release, and identify to start releasing your power, right? And then I want to draw your attention on few things about building your career, right? So these kind of qualitative measures are important to build a successful career. If I say myself, if I talk about myself, I'm always trying to maintain these 5 set of qualities in everyday life, right? So by doing that, it helps me to keep my intern mindset. So it's very important to think about you as an intern every day. Then you're open to learn, right? Then you're open to listen to people, right? Then you are open to share some knowledge that you have, right? So I'll quickly run you through this one, right? These 5 skill set, right? I explain this as 5 pillars of success, right? So open to the change, So I'll discuss 3 examples to explain these things after I explain this. Now, open to change means, now every day you will be in a transforming environment, right? Say for example, every day you might be getting various technological experiences, various environments. Now, say for example, if you are living in Sri Lanka, now 5 years before, you are not experiencing this kind of fuel crisis, economic crisis, food crisis. You are not experiencing these things. But now with the fuel crisis and all, people started innovating. Like that, we have to have innovative mindset and open mindset to to beat the changes that are happening in our external environment, and then be curious and observe. Try to identify, lot of opportunities. What kind of changes that are happening in the environment, right? Basically, in this situation, you should be a good listener. By doing that, you can become very powerful person because you have a lot of inputs in your head before you think about something, right? And then this is a way of executing. Third one, take risk, be creative, think and act quickly. Now in a business, right, whole lean model was built based on this concept, right? Basically, you take risk, you implement something, and every time you implement something, you act really fast. Your feedback loop is very quick. So then that gives you power, right, to adapt and to innovate with the market competition, right? So that is important even in the business life, even in your professional life, and then become a good team player. Because the thing is, you have a limitation of your career, basically the time, right? So time is limited. Every one of us is having only 24 hours per day. So what happens is, if we are not managing our goals as a team, then we cannot achieve what we want in the limited time, right? So let's say, for example, if you may be living for 60 years for sure, right? Most of the people. But in that 60-year period, you will be sleeping for at least 20 years. So you have only 40 years to work, right? Among that 40 years, you work at least like 20 years. So that's the sort of change that is happening in your career. So if someone is willing to contribute more, and if someone can work more, then that person can work for 30 years and achieve something better than others did. And then have the goal setting, right? Be positive and be futuristic, and then think big, and try to project yourself as go-getter, right? So this go-getter word is very important. In many environments, these go-getters are getting highlighted, right? Let's say, for example, if you are a good go-getter, whether you are intern today or whether you are a simple employee of the organization, if you are a true go-getter, then you will definitely become a CEO of that company, right? So that is the power of being a futuristic go-getter, right? So let me take a couple of examples that we did, and then how we identified the situations, and then with that with these examples I'll finish my whole presentation. Right now, this one is this example is coming from the system that we did to identify diabetic retinopathy. That is a global problem. In the current context, what happens is the people go to eye clinics and understanding this diabetic retinopathy issue. But diabetic retinopathy is considered as the #1 cause of blindness among adults. 40% of all diabetic patients are having this risk. But the most important fact is, if we can implement a system to identify this diabetic retinopathy at the early stage, then 90% of that 40% can be saved. I think that's a game changer for these people. And then by introducing the technology, right, like vaccines for some viruses, so we can eradicate this issue. So that is how we solve this kind of non-communicable disease. With our proposed system, we can change this status quo. So this is how the proposed system works. Basically, the AI system will be implemented to diagnose the current conditions of the retina and identify, the diabetic retinopathy as a doctor, right? So the similar model can be used in various disease diagnostics, but we have focused on this diabetic retinopathy thing because it creates a big impact to the whole world, right? Then again, this is another technology we invented, right? This technology is to identify the earliest changes that happens in a cardiovascular disease. I think most of you may have heard of this technology because recently it was published in various materials. So we have invented this technology because none of the people believed we can do this kind of thing in Sri Lanka, but we managed to secure the patent rights for this invention. So we secured this patent rights because we wanted to prove that we are the first in the world to do this kind of thing. So my example is, now by doing these kind of things, we can change the status quo. Like I said in the previous 2 slides, right? We can have a passion towards this, and then we can have that set of qualities to achieve what you want from the from our career, right? So then I'll jump into my last example here. This is the mind drone, right? Whether I can play this video. Yeah, when screen sharing, there is a small error coming in. So basically, this technology is to control a drone from. You can watch this video in YouTube, that is there. So you can search mind drone by Effective Solution, then you can watch this full video. So basically, what it does is you can take the control commands out from the brain signals, and then you can feed it to a drone. So in real time, you can control a drone by using this, this brain computer interface. So this commanding technique can be used in various technologies. So my whole point is, now if we don't think about this, if we don't have a big thinking, we may not be able to do this. So one last thing I want to highlight here. So if you start, right, thinking as an intern, if you open yourself for those 5 qualitative factors, then you are already a champion, a winner, right? But it's very hard to open that passion, open that set of qualities in your life. But try to make sure you open that, and then you are in the right track to do great innovations. So with that, I'll finish my presentation and I am open to the questions. Thank you very much. Vishmini?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kirti Kadituakku, for that inspiring session. I would like to, yes, sir. While thanking Mr. Kirti Kadituakku for that inspiring session, I would like to ask our participants to present your questions you have towards this engineer Kirti Kadituakku. Feel free to include your questions in the chat box or present them by unmuting your mic. If you all have any questions, you all can include.
Seems like there are no questions, right, Vishnu?
So did you get any direct messages or something? No, right, sir?
Pardon?
I think there are no questions, sir.
Right. That's okay. So.
Okay, so.
Okay. People might be tired of listening to long presentations, so I think.
Yeah, so probably, sir.
Conclude the sessions. They must be hungry.
Okay, so thank you, sir, for like accepting our invitation and
right.
Yeah, coming for this session. It was a great motivation for our delegates to learn from our your professionalism and things like that. So once again, thank you, sir. Please accept this digital token of appreciation we have prepared for you.
Yeah, if you can email me, that would be nice. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, sure, sir. We'll definitely do that. So we are almost finished with today's session, but before we go, let's snap a group photo to remember it by. So don't miss this chance to be part of this memory. I think the virtual background is shared in the chat right now. If you all can, yeah. Guys, if you can turn on your cameras, it would be great. So, Sadita, are you ready to take the group photo? Let's wait a few minutes to take the group photo till the others turn on their cameras. Okay. So I think we have quite a few people turning on their camera. So on my count of 3, let's smile. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for being part of the group picture. And that brings us to the end point of this event. And it's time to remark the closure of today's event. We highly appreciate your presence today and know that you all found this session to be very informative. Before concluding the session, I would like to remind all of you the fact that the second day of Upskill 2022 will take place tomorrow from 6 p.m. onwards, with an exclusive and informative panel discussion on technology and sustainable development. So stay tuned. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining today's session. Thank you very much. Especially thank you, the distinguished speakers. And so with that note, it's time to wrap up the session. See you all in the next session. It's Vismi Amrasinghe signing off for today. Stay safe and have a great night. Thank you.